Good morning and welcome to today's ride. Today I am meeting up with a friend who's I think is going to tear my legs off today, but I'm quite looking forward to it in a weird kind of way. So this morning I'm meeting up with Mason. I met him last year, I think it was the year before. He actually came to the beginners rides that I was doing, I mentioned in one of my last videos, and it turns out that he's absolutely a machine, absolutely stinking quick, and I don't know quite why he was concerned about joining a cycling club. So he went from a beginners group and immediately graduated to the advanced fast group. Always like riding with Mason. He always challenges me. He's I pretty much spend the entire time trying to hold his wheel, so it's a good way to push myself. So it's a good way to push myself and hit some higher speeds and maintain a higher average pace. I think because we're going to be doing a relatively shortish route today, I'm going to put the camera on the bike again and have a little bit of a look at the cadence, my heart rate at the end of the ride. So we're heading out from Upton, then we're heading out towards Wareham, I believe. Might be slightly different to that. I think he's right in front of me. Okay, time to start. So I'm just putting together my edit for the video with Mason that I did yesterday. I wanted to put both of the data side by side. I've only used one camera, but Mason sent me his ride data, and I've overlaid mine as well onto the screen. It's quite interesting to see the difference in the cadence that we both have. So Mason's quite a quick rider. He tends to hold a pretty high average pace, and I'm just wondering whether I'm doing something wrong, which would mean that I'm possibly not holding such a high pace. So when Mason actually goes out, he does tend to go hard, and I possibly might be a little bit guilty of not going quite so hard and tending to just enjoy the ride at a bit of a slower pace. I possibly am not as good at trying to push myself as much as I can, so when I do ride with others, I do tend to find it quite interesting to look at how they're riding, what they're doing, and trying to almost emulate what they're doing to possibly make myself a better and faster rider. The start of the video that I'm looking at is it's within the first mile. We've just come out of Upton, and so we're just heading down towards Baker's Arms. Initially, I mean, my cadence is a little bit lower than his, and so with riding side by side, and so I wanted just to try and just kind of ride how I would normally ride, I guess, just to sort of see without looking at what he's doing and what his cadence is going at. What's interesting is that my heart rate is quite a lot lower than Mason's. So I don't know why that is. Even though my cadence is a lot lower, surely I'm working harder to maintain a same pace. I don't really understand how that really works. So as we're going down this road, I'm maintaining a cadence that I would normally tend to ride at, and it's within, you know, maybe 15 or 20 revs per minute. So it's not massively different. Picked out this bit because we are riding side by side, and I'm not drafting him, because obviously if I draft him, that would probably make quite a bit of a difference in how much work I'm actually doing. So we've just come off the roundabout at the Baker's Arms, and we're just heading out on the main road just behind Mason, and it was from a standing start, so we both got up to speed at the same how we would tend to normally get up to speed, and actually at this point I'm actually riding at a similar cadence to Mason, and the same speed, because I'm right behind him holding his wheel. Again, my heart rate is a bit lower, again possibly because I'm drafting Mason, I'm not too sure. As we go off around the corner and just come onto the side road, so at this point I'll ride up next to Mason, have a little bit of a chit chat, and at this point I feel like I'm actually trying harder to keep up with Mason. He's chatting away, and I tend to just be listening rather than talking. Again, my heart rate's lower, so maybe my heart rate doesn't make too much of a difference, but actually our cadence is very similar to one another. So in the third section, we've just come from traffic lights. We stopped and we've started from standing start, and we're just heading down towards Wareham. It's quite a main road out here, so Mason's actually jumped on the front, and I'm just there trying to hold his wheel, drafting him again. So I think the only way I'm actually going to be able to hold this sort of pace is by drafting at the moment. I don't really feel that I could actually go at this pace for the length of time that I was going with Mason. At this point I did start to look at his legs, how fast he was riding, and noticing that, realising how fast he was riding, so I tried to emulate what he's doing, and actually we're pretty much matching revs. I was holding the same pace. At this point we've just come off the roundabout and we're just heading down a slight decline where it jumps back up towards Wareham, and again my heart rate's a bit lower, my cadence is quite a lot lower. Mason's pointing out some potholes in the road again, and at this point actually I'm tending to freewheel quite a lot because I am drafting, and actually I don't need to almost cycle it at some points because of the drafting advantage I'm getting. And at this point Mason's heart rate's almost hitting 180, and mine's quite a lot lower. That's obviously down to the drafting. But then as we go up the hill, we tend to have a similar cadence going up the hill. My heart rate jumps up again, so this next section we're coming through Wareham, and we're heading out towards Corf, but not quite as far that way. And at this point we're just sort of cruising through the town, and at that point I think I'm freewheeling quite a bit, and then as I come to the side of him, we tend to hit a similar sort of cadence. Again, Mason's chatting away and I'm just listening because I'm struggling to keep up with him at this point. But it's a good chance for me to push myself, so I do quite like to ride with faster guys, but I don't tend to like to do it when I'm in a group and then I get dropped. I tend to feel a bit of a burden on the rest of the group, so I tend to say to the group when I do ride with a faster group, if I get dropped, just leave me, I'll find my way back, because I'm happy to do that, just to try and hold on to their wheels for as long as I can. So as we're coming back now, we're coming back through the same route that we took out, and we're coming through Sandford, I think. We're going, it's relatively flat, the whole route's relatively flat. And again, I'm trying to emulate what Mason's doing with cadence wise. Mason's doing a good job pointing out potholes and drains, which is good, which is nice. And again, my heart rate's a lot lower, again probably because I'm drafting. So as we were starting to come towards the finish, I was feeling a little bit strong, I suppose, holding his wheel. I felt like I should really get on the front and give it a bit of a go. So at this point I just sort of thought I'd give it a bit of a blast, go past him and see what I can do and see what I can maintain in terms of speed and in terms of cadence, and it'd be interesting to see what my heart rate gets to at this point as well. I think we hit about 28 miles an hour at some point down here. My cadence is a bit higher. Actually, it kind of matches what Mason's doing, so I'm not actually looking at Mason at the moment. He's behind me, and I'm just trying to ride as quickly as I can. I think I'm in one of the highest gears, but at this point, actually, interestingly, my heart rate is a fair bit lower than Mason's. Maybe because I haven't been trying quite so hard for the whole of the ride, and Mason's obviously been on the front, so he's going to have a bit more of a heavier workload than I have up to this point. So I think only about half a minute, or maybe just over into this section, I start to fall off in terms of pace. I start to really feel quite tired. I mean, it's relatively flat down here, but at this point I'm starting to tail off, and I pull over, and Mason whizzes past me, and then it's me then to try and jump back onto his wheel to see if I can hold on to him for a little bit longer. And at that point my heart rate is a bit higher, and so I jump back on his wheel, and then we kind of cruise along down this road for a little while. So as we're coming back past Dorset and up towards Upton, we're coming to the end of the ride. Mason's had to shoot off to work. It was only a short ride, but it was, I realised I can't really hold and maintain a high pace for a prolonged time, so doing a short period, and I think trying to do this as much as I can, even going out on my own and not having the ability of having to draft someone, obviously make me a bit stronger. And Mason doing a good job there to point out a parked car. So I don't really know exactly what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. Maybe my heart rate is lower because of I'm drafting for quite a long periods of that ride. When we're riding side by side, it's quite interesting to see my heart rate a bit lower. Don't really know what that means. Mason does tend to ride a lot faster than I do, and so I'm thinking it's a good idea to try and emulate what he does on the bike. Maybe it's not a good idea, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to do something that my body isn't particularly well equipped for doing. He's a lot leaner than I am. He has a lot more muscle mass than I do as well. So as we finish the ride, I felt quite happy with that. I think we maintained a pace of around about 19 miles an hour, which is a lot quicker than what I would normally do. I tend to ride at around about 16, maybe 15, 16 miles an hour average pace. I don't tend to go all guns blazing, which this kind of was a bit of an all guns blazing for me. It was anyway. I don't think Mason was pushing quite so hard. I downloaded a free ebook from Cam Nichols. He's actually an Australian chap who's got his own YouTube channel. He gives away quite a lot of content, and so I've downloaded his ebook to try and understand a little bit more about what I'm doing and where I might be able to make some gains. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't know what it's told me, don't know what it's told you, but interesting for me to look at the data as well as the way I ride, really. Anyway, catch you again, speak to you in the next video. See you later, guys.